Hi guys, welcome back to New England Fire Cooking. I'm Aaron Higgins, and today what I have here is I have some beef short ribs. Now these little bad boys are great to cook up, especially if you're fairly new to barbecue, and they're even better if you're new to smoking beef because they don't set you back all that much. You're looking at about a $20 bill for something like this, as opposed to a brisket or a big rack of plate ribs. Same principles that we use to cook brisket and big plate ribs are the same principles that we're going to use to cook this beef. We have to break down this connective tissues, we got to break down that intramuscular fat, and we're going to do that today. We're going to fire up the offset, but before I do any of that, I want to get these seasoned. So to season these beef ribs, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sprinkle on a 50-50 mixture of kosher salt and coarse ground black pepper. Don't forget to get your sides. And once you get a good coating of seasoning on these short ribs, you just want to let them hang out and come up to room temperature. In the meantime, we're going to go fire up the offset. We're going to be running right between 250 and 275 today. Okay guys, so as you can see, I got my firebox loaded up with a nice bed of charcoal, and I got a couple of tumbleweed fire starters, these little Royal Oak tumbleweeds down here. And what I'm going to do is I just set them closest to the vents, and I'm going to blast these. We're going to get this fire going. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to close up this firebox. I'm going to leave the vent at the bottom wide open, and I'm going to leave the stack on the cook chamber wide open right now, just to let this fire really get going, let some of these coals start to ash over. So now that our coals are ashed up pretty well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw in a couple of hunks of hickory, and this is what's going to give us a smoke flavor. Hey guys, so as you can see, we've creeped right up on that 250 mark. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get this open. This smoke was real thick earlier. It's now just starting to thin out a little, which is good. Now we're going to get these short ribs on. And I'm going for the center grate on this smoker, okay? About dead center. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get it closed. We're going to let this come up to temperature, and then we're going to lock in our vents to maintain this temperature for the next few hours. You guys, what you're looking at here is 2 cups of beef broth and about 3 ounces of tomato paste, and I've kind of busted it up a little bit with a spoon. I've just got this on the stove right now. What I want to do is I want to get this up to temperature. You never ever want to put hot meat into a cold braising liquid. It's really important to keep those temperatures steady. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to incorporate this as it's coming up to temperature, get it nice and blended, and then we'll be ready to start braising these short ribs. Okay guys, we're back out here at the pit, and as you can see, we're still locked in right at 250. It's been about 3 hours. I want to check on these ribs, and these are starting to look really nice. You see how we got some pullback here, starting to see the disintegration around those bones. That's good. That's what you want to see. These are looking really good. We've got some good color to them. That rub's sticking right to the meat. Now what we're going to do is we're going to pull these bad boys out, and we're going to get these in a pan. That way we can start braising them. So to braise these ribs, we're just throwing them right into this aluminum pan. What I'm doing here is I'm just chucking in some garlic cloves, just randomly throughout. And then after that, you want to throw in some celery. Throw in some celery. Throw in some carrots. This is just going to be for extra flavor. These veggies usually just turn to mush, but they give it some great flavor once we get this broth in here. I just diced up an onion. Now we have our broth, it's up to temperature. Get that right in. Tomato here. Now we're going to cover this, and we're going to get this into the oven right at 325. We can pick those temperatures up a little bit, and that's okay. It'll braise perfect. You might be wondering why I'm using the oven and I'm not bringing this back out to the grill. Well, you could certainly do this. You could continue to let it roll at 250 or even kick up the temperature on your grill a little bit. That'd be fine. You could do that. The reason I'm using my oven instead of going back to the grill is just because I want to conserve fuel for future cooks. Therefore, we're going to be using the oven right at 325 for about another 3 hours at least. Just going to cover it with some foil here. Now in the oven for the next few hours at 325 degrees. So these ribs just came out. I'm temping them here. Definitely done. Done right around 200. So now what we're going to do is we're going to cover them back up and we're just going to let them rest for about an hour. So while the ribs are resting, what I did was I took the braising liquid and I got it right into this pot right here. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring it to a boil and I'm going to reduce it by about half. Okay, you guys, we've rested our short ribs. We made ourselves up some mashed potatoes. We made a nice sauce out of the braising liquid that we used to cook the ribs in. And just so you guys know, this is something I did off camera. You might not like this. I like this because this is very, very concentrated beef flavor. I add a shot of my favorite barbecue sauce in there. You can use whatever barbecue sauce you want, and you can cut it to whatever you want, like a little, tiny little hint of sweet on the back end. And so now, without further ado, I want to make myself a plate here. It'll come with these guys right here. Look at that, it's just coming right off the bone, guys. Absolutely perfect beef rib. Oh, look at that, coming right off the bone. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come right over the top. Get some of the sauce. Now, you know I gotta give one of these a shot. First thing I wanna do, this bad boy that's come off, let's see how we did and see what the inside of this beef rib looks like. I'm gonna go right in the center here, give you guys a look-see. And as you can see, you got a beautiful rib here. Beautiful piece of meat. Good smoke ring. Everything looks really, really good. Tender, 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 tender. Look at that. Okay, guys, I can't wait. This is gonna be really, really good. Before I do, this bone. That's awesome. Anyway, before I get into this, let's go through a quick run through. Pretty straightforward. All you do is go to the grocery store and you look for some nice beef short ribs. It sets back about a $20 bill. After that, what we do is we season them with a 50-50 mixture of kosher salt and coarse ground black pepper. And then we let them hang out and get up to room temperature. In the meantime, we fired up the offset, brought that up to 250 degrees, and we let these ribs roll on there for about 3.5 hours. You could easily go 4. I go by color with short ribs. I don't go by temp or anything like that. When they get that nice dark red color, that's when I pull mine off. Then I get mine wrapped, in this case, panned up with a nice braising liquid. Braising liquid's really important. All that was 2 cups of beef broth and 3 ounces of tomato paste. And after that, we just threw in some carrots, some celery, quartered up an onion, threw that in there for some extra flavor, some garlic cloves, and then we let it roll. We let it roll in the oven, 325, until these are falling off the bone. And then after that, we pulled them out, we let them rest for an hour. Meantime, we took the braising liquid, reduced that by half on the stove, and then I added a little bit of barbecue sauce to mine. I like a little sweet on the back end. You certainly don't have to do that. You can, if you do want to try that, you can use whatever barbecue sauce you like. And now, I'm gonna get into this. Look at that, that's beautiful. Perfect beef. Perfect beef. Pulls right apart. I mean, it's almost like brisket on a bone. This is excellent. Tender, beefy. Sauce comes through perfect on it. Good bark, good seasoning. Let me tell you guys, this is a great way to cook beef and not spend a lot of money. Short ribs is the way to go. You want to cook beef and not spend a lot of money? It's 20 bucks. That's it, 20 bucks. This literally is like brisket on a bone. That's just awesome. Tender, tender. Bite through. Listen guys, I'm gonna demolish the rest of this. I absolutely cannot wait. Neither can my wife. It's gonna be delicious. If you like what you see here and you like what we do on this channel, give us a subscribe. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We just moved over to Parler. We got content slowly coming to Parler. Thanks for hanging out with us today. We'll see you next time.